2-liter J for the real world, wide hood star.
Pastor 2-liter for the real world, wide hood star.
That's a man standing for his principles. Gonna fuck what y'all think about me. I'm a man. Step over here, I'll give you 2 in your head. That's what I'm talking about. Now, that's where hip hop comes from.
Will make me slap.
Sorry, Janari. Sorry, Janari.
Dear Double XL, you know I had to vote for myself. The one that's causing all the ruckus in hell. Drop 100 in shells. Niggas ain't got a story to tell. We made it here without a sponsor deal. Do acknowledge I'm ill. Who can function with the fella for real? Line him up and watch his noodles get spilled. We ain't new to this here. Independent, clearing tickets to share. Shoot a ride shotgun, hook a bitch in the rear. Yeah. I see progression when I look in the mirror. Look at your magazine and all the freshmen is queers. Cypher was dry as fuck, that ain't something you air. And the politics will make it unfair. Post a pin on that cover. Look at all the trash, get on that cover. Half these niggas sucking dick undercover. Yeah, Double XL, no doubt about it, yeah, the streets have been filled. Had a dream about the shit in my cell. Tired of taking them ill. Collect call, fundraising for bail. Came from nothing, ain't no way I could fail. They nominated me, mama. Rap niggas better not play with me, mama. Burn the whole gangland with me, mama. Went up top in the slammer. We called the problems for that mumbling shit. I don't tune in all that humming and shit. We don't fuck with that shit. Causing problems for that mumbling shit. I don't tune in all that humming and shit. Look what I bring to this shit, nigga.
Whole white men is running this rap shit. Corporate force is running this rap shit. Some tall Israeli is running this rap shit. We poke out our asses for a chance to cash in. Cocaine is running this rap shit. Joe Yak and E-pills is running this rap shit. This rap shit. Quasi-homosexuals is running this rap shit. What yo? We run the world.
Who's this?
Hold up. This is the Drink Champs, the #1 podcast in the business. And right now we're talking to, hands down, the most important man, in my opinion, in the whole music game. He's a mogul. He's been doing this. He personally signed me and taught me how to be a man with money. Right now, we got Leo Combs on the line. Let's make some noise! Yo, Leo, I gotta big you up off top, man.
Well, I want to address the comment you made about mogul. I don't consider myself a mogul. Myself a servant. I prefer if you could replace mogul with humble servant.
My beef was with Lior because I think he's a fake CEO and I think he's fronting on my culture, but he can't front on anybody else. And I'm calling him out publicly and I want him to stop trying to rape my culture, go make some money with some other people. They have people that their job is to create beef so that they can monetize it, pause, but they don't let their culture feel it, but they make money from it and they can't make any money or get any respect in their culture. That's why they're in our culture. It is what it is. It's a perfect example of what they always do to us. They always try to, offer some paper bag of money or whatever it is, whatever selfish agenda, which is the test, and then have us divide so they can benefit and take the fight off of them and put the focus on them. Never had a beef with Jay, always with Lior and his whole crew. He's the one that ruined Rockefeller. I think it's fair to continuously make money off our culture, not make money off your own culture, not use any of your money to help our culture.
It don't matter where you're from, it's where you're at. And if you can't a freak a leak, better bring your hats, nickel. East Coast, West Coast, down south, represent your coast. Yeah, we run it, y'all don't want it, 'cause
all they want to do is just get out of here, man. We only doing this shit to get out. It's crazy, man. Just to go to the beach, we gotta have guns with us, man. Like, this shit ain't normal, man. I'm forced to do this shit everywhere I fucking go, man. Like, this shit don't end. You know what I'm saying? This is a never-ending fucking cycle, man. Ain't no way out of this shit. You know what I'm saying? This shit make you paranoid, shit. It fuck you up, man. And that's why we do so many fucking drugs, because we just trying to cope with this shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, take some pain away. We human, man. Like, we just fucking human.
people who are like me, they're not anti-Semites. They don't care about Jews. They may have some assumptions about Jews. They may have some prejudice about Jews, like the Jews run everything. Well, we do. The Jews run all the banks. Well, we do. The Jews run the media. Well, we do. You know, I mean, they're right about all that stuff. Now, what you do with that is
In May, the Washington Times sent journalist David Mills to interview Professor Griff. A number of topics were discussed, but when the article was published, all the attention focused on one sentence. Griff reportedly told Mills, "Jews are responsible for the majority of wickedness that goes on across the globe." With the media scrutinizing their every move, it was a PR disaster. The resulting fallout threatened to end Public Enemy's career. It wasn't the first time Griff had brought up contentious issues in the press. The band often discussed ideas about how to regain a consciousness for African Americans, and this often spilled over into the black community's relationship with other ethnic groups. But this quote was indefensible. Did he really say those words, or were they taken out of context?
The way it was kind of put out there was definitely not my sentiment. Never had this hatred for Jewish people. Never had this hatred for white people like they say. I just finished reading The Secret Relationship Between Blacks and Jews, which was given to me by somebody in Public Enemy. This conversation was going on all the time about the control and who owns these companies and, you know, why all this group of people always doing this and controlling that and having this kind of influence. And that talk went on all the time, every day. And that bit of information that I put in that particular interview with David Mills was given to me by somebody in the group. But why am I taking the heat for it?
Whether Griff's words were reported correctly or not, the resulting media storm required swift action from the band's leader, Chuck D.
I remember being around at that time, you know, and how tough that decision was for Chuck. It was difficult. I mean, think about it. They were the biggest rap group and one of the biggest pop groups in the world at that time. And you're told you got to get rid of one of your best friends out of the band because of his anti-Semitism. That's a lot of weight.
It was a total mess. It was a mess with me not just getting into it and handling it after it was said and done. And I just let it go. I said, you know what? Boys will be boys and let's, you know, men will be men. Let's just, you know, it'll wash away. Did not wash away.
Def Jam's publicist, Bill Adler, refused to work with the group, and criticism from the world's media continued to build. Public Enemy's mission to change the consciousness of a generation was about to be wrecked by one interview. Chuck had to act to save his group. He released a statement, apologized, and sacked Griff.
Did I get thrown under the bus by organizations, by people in the group? Yeah, I did. Did it have to happen that way? No.
"25 years ago, as Do the Right Thing came out, in July 1989, we was also accused of being anti-Semitic based on a article that just went and hit a bad road in left field, and it was in this city, New York, and it was a motherfucker for real. I think the arguments were based on, well, let me tell you, the whole thing really happened. And it started out by the audacity of black men talking about the conflict, which is relevant to this moment.
The Palestinian
Israel and Palestine. Right. We were having detailed discussion on how the one-sidedness of Palestine and Israel was taking place. And it was almost like,
who the fuck are y'all talking about?
Black dudes talking to what the, you know? But they had to deal with that, and they was getting these intellectual discourses coming back at. We ain't no fucking kids. We ain't stupid. We ain't naive. This shit's going on, and we need to address this. So Griff started to do an interview with David Mills, a black guy, and they're talking about, you know, he brings up the issue of what's going on based on the Israel-Palestine thing, and they start talking about these areas of conflict, but also what had happened in the music business and how black people are still like kind of ass down, and how also other people and also Jewish people happen to be running the music business. And what's up with the equitable shake here and the emergence of even hip hop? Where's the equality here? Well, David Mills they got into some good discussion that took a wrong path, especially when David Mills' girlfriend, who was white and Jewish, came into the room and she started like, and it just went in.
How the fuck is that an interview when she's not even? That's crazy.
Because that was his girlfriend.
Yeah.
And then that, so when I came back to the hotel, I saw Griff come out of the elevator like, yo, I got into it with this dude. I don't know if you can be having. I said, man, I'm tired. You go to bed. It wasn't until Spike Lee started getting some pressure. Spike Lee said, yo, man, they're going to pull this movie. Or they could have been calling this bluff. All this stuff about Public Enemy.
You're talking about Do the Right Thing.
You Do the Right Thing,
Yeah.
which was out in July 1989 to this day. It's like, yo, man, I'm getting a lot of pressure from these people at Universal about Public Enemy. And number one, Public Enemy is the theme of Do the Right Thing.
Rick Rubin, I say him, I dance interior. He was a member of the Beastie Boys. He was a DJ Double R. I met him at Dance Interior because Jazzy J brought him to me. Jazzy J was on the record, It's Yours, Tila Rock. It was the best record on the radio. We talked in Dance Interior and he played me his drum machine. He had so many beats, we started a record label. Rick owned and created the label Def Jam, that was his. Rick owned and created the label Def Jam, that was his.
Anybody killer, for anybody skriller, anybody out there know anybody realer, any motherfucker make
You may have to rewrite the third verse after this because you just took it, the whole song just went like this.
Rick ain't normal, I don't give a fuck. I know all producers have their idiosyncrasies, meaning, quirks and weird shit. But he's just strange by strange standards. While we was downstairs doing hardcore rap records and shit, upstairs he had a bunch of people having koala leaves and doing some type of Tibetan freedom concert planning. And when was the last time you seen a bison in a nigga's studio?
Next to the Johnny Cash reels.
Over 20 years into his career, dude ain't changed, he got his own vibe. It's Rick. You gotta love him for that. All these records I used to listen to, these guys are the creators of it, the architects of what we do right now. I'm just fortunate, man. You want to take this? Yeah, you ready? Yeah.
super secret organization like the CIA is going to have secrets, but this sounded too bizarre to be true. Yet there it was, in print, in a respected newspaper. The accusation that the crack epidemic, which ravaged this country's cities, was spread with help from a secret army linked to the CIA.
Men who were working for the CIA's army were responsible for bringing all that cocaine into Los Angeles that sparked the crack epidemic.
Crack use spread like wildfire in the early 1980s. And in Los Angeles, a drug dealer known as Freeway Ricky Ross was in the middle of it. Prosecutors called Ross the Walmart of crack. He made millions in the early 80s dealing to Los Angeles street gangs. Police say he was among the first to take expensive cocaine powder and cook it into low-cost, highly addictive crack, then distribute it through the gangs. Webb says Freeway Ricky helped trigger an epidemic of human misery.
It's destroyed our community. All the black men are in prison, most of us.
Rick Ross is now serving a life sentence for cocaine distribution.
The women are still strung on the drugs, kids without fathers, without mothers.
And honestly, how much responsibility do you have for that?
A lot. A lot of it was my fault. I played the game.
The ratio of gangbangers to civilians was minuscule in the early 70s and early 80s, late 70s, early 80s, okay? Right after NWA, now I've been in the club business all this time, and I stopped making records. Went back to my second career, which is nightclub owner. What happened was NWA and gangster rap made gangster lifestyle cool. So the ratio started to change. Everybody was a gangbanger. It used to be 5% gangbanger. Everybody became a gangbanger. So now you got 95% gangsters, or 90% gangsters, and 10% civilians. And when that happened, everything went crazy because now theaters, clubs, parking lots, the park, everything is a war zone.
I believe in the Constitution. I believe in the First Amendment. And there is nothing that Ruthless or any other company like us does that we shouldn't be doing.
Ruthless Records was one of the first labels devoted to gangster rap and was the home of NWA, whose success was made possible by the label's independence.
When I heard Boys in the Hood, I just felt it was the most important music that I had heard in many, many years, since the beginning of rock and roll.
Jerry Heller had spent his career representing pop groups like Styx and Journey, but he was fascinated by NWA's foul-mouthed street sensibility. Convinced he had found a diamond in the rough, Heller says he left his other clients and helped Eazy-E start up a label they called Ruthless Records.
Nobody that I took the records to for the first 9 or 10 months ever thought that this would get any airplay.
Ultimately, Heller persuaded Priority Records to distribute NWA's first LP, Straight Outta Compton.
And was Jerry Heller involved at that point also?
Yes. He was,
Okay,
but what a lot of people don't know is like we came in a transition point of Ruthless Records because Eazy-E had fired Jerry Heller, you know, and he started bringing all new people in, you know, and this is right before he got sick and passed away. He had fired Jerry Heller and he brought all new people in to run his company because I guess he found out it was some underhanded, shady business going on up under his nose that he didn't know about. We were even there, the same secretary that had Eazy call us back. We went to the office one day to pick up some money, and you know, she was like, "Y'all wait right here, cause Jerry is not so happy in the office right now." You know, and she was like, "Y'all just wait right here because you know Eazy just fired him."
Right.
And we was like, "Damn." So yeah, it was going down. It was
Allegedly died of AIDS.
Well, no, he did. I think
he
that's
died of AIDS.
Yeah, it's confirmed.
Allegedly.
You think it was something else?
This might be alleged.
Yeah.
The way he picked the shit up, but I ain't getting into that right now, Jack.
Oh.
I got my own theories, you know what I mean?
Me too.
But
What? I've never heard these theories before. I thought it was just
I mean, it was crazy though because we was hearing like
it happened kind of fast, didn't it?
I was kind of thinking like, who the fuck doctors did he go to? I think it was Jerry Heller's doctors that he went to, and he had just got fired. So I'm like, I don't know, but this don't even look,
Conspiracy.
You know
And then
what I mean?
it's like you could. We all seen people with full-blown AIDS, and when they're about to die, they look like they have it and they're about to die. Now you can have HIV and you can still look healthy, you know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
But
And you don't even know you have it.
Right. Dude had full-blown AIDS and he looked like he
regular.
He was like still had his weight, still cocky, still looking like a regular dude, and it just came about all of a sudden, you know what I'm saying?
I mean, he was wrestling with Big Wish, you know what I'm saying? Like, going at it with Big Wish. So the dude was strong, cocky, man, really built like a little tank, you know what I mean? So it's just theories, you know.
Did
what I
you
mean?
read
Ain't
Jerry
pointing no
Heller's
finger.
biography that he wrote, or autobiography?
Wish we were there. Wish we were there, breaking all the rules. When niggas try to play fair. Ain't nothing fair in this game of life. You gotta get yours before you lose your life. The game is designed for them to win. You think I'm lying? Visit the pen. They already got a number reserved for your ass. Don't be a fool and join their class. They want you to enroll in their institution so they can pimp you with their new form of prostitution. Wake up, my niggas, and hear me clear. Don't be a slave to this game called fear. You got a mind, you gotta use it. Because if you don't, they will abuse it. Don't be a victim to their game. Learn the rules, my niggas, and do the same. There's a lot more money on that other side. And my niggas, you don't have to run and you don't have to hide.
I believe that what they've done is they've taken hip hop and they've made it glorious to be a drug dealer. You know, when I sold drugs, I hid. I didn't want anybody to know I sold drugs. But now they got these guys who've never sold drugs, technically. You know, one guy was a correctional officer who goes by the name of Rick Ross now. He took my whole identity, and the court said that he could do it, that he could prance around the country and say that he's me and take my whole life and use it. And there was nothing I could do about it. I can't stop him. Now, they take these guys, and these guys say, well, I got to the position that I'm in right now today by selling drugs. So the message that it tells our kids is that if you go out, you sell drugs, then you can become a great rock star like myself and never go to prison. And I think that that's a false message to be given people who feel hopeless. The way they're doing it now, they're saying it's just art form. It's just a form of art. And I believe that it's sucking in our kids and get your lights cut off at 7 o'clock at night. Told when to get up in the morning, when to go to bed, and how to live your life.
It makes me sick.
And they're going to give you a job. Or you can't get a job on the street? Oh, well, they got a job for you in prison. It's called Unicore. And you're going to make money, prison money, 25 cents an hour. And the job that you're going to be doing, skillful job. Because people on the street, well, they get $35 an hour to do that same job. But we're only going to give you 25 cents. But that's all you need. Because we're going to feed you, house you, we wash your clothes for you. You have nothing to worry about in here. Oh, they got what they call now. I just spoke at the a conference in San Francisco. They call it from Head Start to the prison pipeline. So they say they can tell right now. They got people that say they can tell right now a kid that's in kindergarten if he's going to prison. You care about others, because when you don't care about other people, then I believe that you're the worst. And a lot of people that's in power right now, they don't care about anything but your dollars. Well, I tried to reach out to everybody in hip-hop about us coming together and changing this culture and so forth. Nobody would touch me. Did have a meeting with Dr. Dre and brought up the subject, and I was cut off.
It glorifies violence. It's creating drugs, the culture of drugs, the culture of guns and rape.
Tucker uncovered a trail which led from Death Row, the biggest name in gangster rap, to one of the largest corporations in America, Time Warner. Time Warner held a 50% share in a company called Interscope Records, and Interscope were the financial backers and distributors of Death Row.
We decided that until the industry hurt us, we'd buy stock and go to the stockholders meeting. And so since Time Warner was the one that was the parent body that was selling this music, we approached their board meeting, and many of their board members were shocked. They didn't even know that they were engaged in gangster rap till I told them about it. Never let anybody denigrate you with these stereotypical images that you've fought for years to get rid of. And now you're going to have children come back and use the term nigger, use the name bitch, call us that when we are super women. What we had to do to raise those children and what we've had to go through in our struggle.
The secret meeting that changed rap music and destroyed a generation. And it says here that this anonymous letter landed in my inbox a few minutes ago. Hello. For more than 20 years, I finally decided to tell the world what I witnessed in 1991, which I believe was one of the biggest turning points in popular music and ultimately American society. I've struggled for a long time weighing the pros and cons of making this story public, as I was reluctant to implicate individuals who were present that day. So I've simply decided to leave out the names and the details that may risk my personal well-being and that of those who were, like me, dragged into something they weren't ready for. Between the late 1980s and early 90s, I was what you would call a decision maker with one of the more established companies in the music industry. I came to Europe in the early 1980s and quickly established myself in the business. The industry was difficult back then, since technology and media weren't accessible to people like they are today. The industry had more control over the public and had means to influence them any way it wanted. This may explain why in early 1991 I was invited to a closed-door meeting with a small group of music business insiders to discuss rap music's new direction. Little did I know that we would be asked to participate in one of the most unethical and destructive business practices I've ever seen. The meeting was held in a private residence in the outskirts of Los Angeles. I remember about 25 to 30 people being there, most of them familiar faces. Speaking to those I knew, we joked about the theme of the meeting, as many of us did not care for rap music and failed to see the purpose of being invited to a private gathering to discuss its future. Among the attendees was a small group of unfamiliar faces who stayed to themselves and made no attempt to socialize beyond their circle. Based on their behavior and formal appearances, they did not seem to be from our industry. Our casual chatter was interrupted when we were asked to sign a confidentiality agreement, preventing us from publicly discussing the information presented during the meeting. Needless to say, this intrigued and in some cases disturbed many of us. The agreement was only one page long, but very clear on the matter and consequences, which stated violating the terms would result in job termination. We asked several people what this meeting was about, and the reason for such secrecy, but couldn't find anyone who had answers for us. A few people refused to sign and walked out. No one stopped them. I was tempted to follow, but curiosity got the best of me. A man who was part of the unfamiliar group collected the agreements from us. Quickly after the meeting began, one of my industry colleagues, who will remain nameless like everyone else, thanked us for attending. He then gave the floor to the man who only introduced himself by first name and gave no further details about his personal background. I think he was the owner of the residence, but this was never confirmed. He briefly praised us for the success we had achieved in our industry and congratulated us for being selected as part of the group of decision makers. At this point, I began to feel slightly uncomfortable with the strangeness of this gathering. The subject quickly changed as the speaker went on to tell us the respective companies we represented had invested in a very profitable industry that would become even more rewarding with our active involvement. He explained that the companies we worked for had invested millions into the building of privately owned prisons and that our positions of influence in the music industry would actually impact the profitability of these investments. I remember many of us in the group immediately looked at each other in confusion. At the time, I did not know what a private prison was, but I wasn't the only one. Sure enough, someone asked what these prisons were and what any of this had to do with us. We were told that the prisons were built by privately owned companies who received funding from the government based on the number of inmates. The more inmates, the more money the government would pay these prisons. It was made clear to us that since these prisons are privately owned, as they are publicly traded, we'd be able to buy shares. Most of us were taken back by this. Again, a couple people asked what this had to do with us. At this point, my industry colleague who had first opened the meeting took the floor again and answered our questions. He told us that since our employers had become silent investors in this prison business, it was now their interest to make sure these prisons remained filled. Our job was to help make this happen by marketing music which promotes criminal behavior, rap music being of choice. He assured us that this would be a great situation for us because rap music was becoming an increasingly profitable market for our companies, and as employees, we'd be able to buy personal stocks in these prisons. Immediate silence came over the room. You could have heard a pin drop. I remember looking around to make sure that I wasn't dreaming and saw half the people with dropped jaws. My daze was interrupted when someone shouted, "Is this an effing joke?" At this point, things became chaotic. Two of the men who were part of the unfamiliar group grabbed the man who shouted and attempted to remove him from the house. A few of us, myself included, tried to intervene. One of them pulled a gun and we all backed off. They separated us from the crowd and all four of us were escorted outside. My industry colleague who had opened the meeting earlier hurried out to meet us and reminded us that we had signed an agreement and would suffer the consequences about speaking publicly with those or even with those who attended the meeting. I asked him why I was involved with something so corrupt, and he said it was bigger than the music business and nothing we'd want to challenge without risking consequences. We all protested as he walked back into the house. I remember word for word the last thing he said, "It's out of my hands now. Remember, you signed the agreement." He then closed the door behind him. The men rushed us to our cars and actually watched until we drove off. A million things were going through my mind as I drove away, and I eventually decided to pull over and park on the side of the street in order to collect my thoughts. I replayed everything in my mind repeatedly, and it seemed very surreal to me. I was angry at myself for not having taken a more active role in questioning what had been presented to us. I'd like to believe the shock of it all is what suspended my better nature. After what seemed like an eternity, I was able to calm myself enough to make it home. I didn't call anyone that night. The next day, back at the office, I was visibly out of it, but blamed it on being under the weather. No one else in my department had been invited to the meeting. I felt a sense of guilt for not being able to share what I had witnessed. I thought about contacting the three others who were kicked out of the house, but I didn't remember their names and thought tracking them down would probably bring unwanted attention. I considered speaking out publicly at the risk of losing my job, but I realized I'd probably be jeopardizing more than my job, and I wasn't willing to risk anything happening to my family. I thought about those men with the guns and wondered who were they. I had been told they were bigger, this was bigger than the music business, and all I could do was let my imagination run free. There were no answers and no one I could talk to. I tried to do a little bit of research on private prisons, but didn't uncover anything about the music business's involvement. However, the information I did find confirmed how dangerous this prison business really is. Days turned into weeks, weeks turned into months. Eventually, it was as if the meeting had never taken place. It all seemed surreal. I became more reclusive and stopped going to any industry events unless professionally obligated to. On 2 occasions, I found myself attending the same function as my former colleague. Both times, our eyes met, but nothing more was exchanged. As the months passed on, rap music definitely changed direction. I was never a fan of it, but I could tell the difference. Rap acts that talked about politics or harmless fun were quickly fading away as gangster rap started dominating the airwaves. Only a few months had passed since the meeting, but I suspected that the ideas presented that day had been successfully implemented. It was as if the order had been given to all major executives. The music was climbing the charts and most companies were more than happy to capitalize on it. Each one was churning out their very own gangster rap acts on an assembly line. Everyone bought into it, consumers included. Violence and drug use became a central theme of most rap music. I spoke to my fellow peers in the industry to get their opinion on the new trend and was told repeatedly that it was about supply and demand. Sadly, many of them expressed that the music reinforced their prejudices of minorities. I officially quit the music business in 1993, but my heart had already left months earlier. I broke ties with the majority of my peers and removed myself from this thing I once loved. I took some time off, returned to Europe for a few years, settled out of state, and lived a quiet life away from the world of entertainment. As the years passed, I managed to keep my secret, fearful of sharing it with the wrong person, but also a little ashamed of not having had the balls to blow the whistle. But as rap got worse, my guilt grew. Fortunately, in the late 1990s, having the internet as a resource which wasn't at my disposal in the early days made it easier for me to investigate what is now labeled the prison industrial complex. Now that I have a greater understanding of how the private prisons operate, things make much more sense than they ever have. I see how the criminalization of rap music plays a big part in promoting racial stereotypes and misguided so many impressionable young minds into adopting these glorified criminal behaviors which often lead to incarceration. 20 years of guilt is a heavy load, but the least I can do now is share my story, hoping that fans of rap music realize that they have been used for the past 2 decades. Although I plan on remaining anonymous for obvious reasons, my goal is to get this information out to as many people as possible. Please help me spread my word. Hopefully others who attended the meeting back in 1991 will be inspired by this to tell their own stories. Most importantly, if only one life is touched by my story, I pray it makes the weight of my guilt more tolerable. Thank you.
And then, of course, the 90s came in, and there was too much consciousness going on in hip hop at that time for the powers that be. So here comes gangster rap. All right, take off the medallions, you know what I mean? Stop all that peace and unity, and let's do some hoes and cocaine and gangbang. At a time, if you were a conscious rapper, you couldn't even get a record deal anymore because hip hop wasn't going that way no more. And that's directly from that gangster rap era, that gangster rap mentality, and the people who were in charge of hip hop at that time. They totally deaded the cultural side of hip hop. I mean, everything De La Soul, done. Tribe Called Quest, done. I mean, all that, done. I mean, yeah, it's still stuck around, it permeated, but they changed the whole landscape of the entire music. NWA, I thought they were great for what they were doing, but I thought there was a definite detriment to our people, the message they were giving out. You know what I mean? The music was groundbreaking and extraordinary, amazing. You know what I mean? But I wasn't. And I was out there at the time. I know them, I'm familiar with them. We had a club out in LA, Zulu Nation had a club, West Coast, Eazy-E's to come in, Ice Cube, all them cats used to be around. And then we all cool, it's all peace and love. But I'm saying, it's not even the artists so much, it's the music industry itself that kind of drove that ship. And they just recruited people to do what they needed to do. It was a different conversation than I'm gonna shoot you in your face. It was a different conversation than I got 5 bad kilos of this and that and this and that. And any nigga, I'm shooting your kneecaps off. I'm shooting your daughter in the calf muscle and shit like that. It wasn't that kind of conversation. Right. It was like, hey, I'm good too. I'm strapped too. Yeah. You know what I mean? You got yours, I got mine too. Ain't nobody running over nobody here. Right. That was his conversation. But later on it became, yo, I'm gonna shoot this nigga and kill police and all that. It wasn't that extreme.
So that bothered you?
Okay, yeah, that bothered me, definitely. I knew it wasn't good for hip hop. You know what I mean? It might be good for rap music. You know, crack was out back then and they were trying to sell more crack. So they used the music industry to help do that too and to permeate that throughout our society and our culture.
Fresh off goddamn plane. I should. Fresh off the garden stage. That's my brother right here from day one. We used to wake up and, damn, pause, but like just back in the days when he was like 10 and I was a little bit older, his older brother, we used to fight over the Frosted Flakes. You know what I'm saying? Before pause was invented. You know what I'm saying? But it's my brother for real. We used to actually wrestle off of the Frosted Flakes because he used to always get them early than me. Now he's one of the richest stars in the world. And what the fuck did Puff just say? Nobody's gonna acknowledge this but me. Puff just said we used to wrestle over the Frosted Flakes. And we're streaming live. That was stupid. Listen, that was fucking stupid.
She's shaving the side of her head like that woman who drink blood. The last woman who did that was Cassie. And Cassie is gone. Cassie is P. Diddy's slave. Did y'all know that? She is his slave. Oh, yes, she is. Every time you see Cassie with P. Diddy, she got her head down, she carrying bags. She the mop-up girl. When P. Diddy want to impress him, he's bringing on, he let Cassie go down on him. He let that dude pop her in the butt, and P. Diddy sit back and masturbate while she's being ran in by his partners. Did y'all know that? I'm telling y'all some true Hollywood insider, brother. It gets down like that. That's the way they roll. And if you're a woman, especially if you're a sister, you come in with all that attitude, they're gonna rip you apart. The first thing they're gonna do is break you. They're putting it right in your face, like, okay, we worship the devil. We down with the Baphomet. Okay, we do lesbians and gay, and we do a little something. What? What's it gonna do? What? Because you know why they're so bold with their truth? Because they know majority of the people in society are so dumbfounded and so beat down on these jobs that they'll take anything. And they do not have your best intentions.
And Wayne is my favorite person to work with, though, because it's just, little Wayne, he's just too good.
You got to give Wayne the love.
It's just too good.
Drake,
it's just too good.
Now, some people get out in the world and they follow the dumb people like the Lil Waynes, and they follow that type of game banging. Lil Wayne is not out here doing anything. He's just a blood. And that's what's happening. That's the problem. You know what I mean?
So what do you think of, I heard Baby's a blood.
Look, man.
And I'm sure he joined probably in his 30s at some point.
How do you become a gang member in your 40s? See, I know the story behind that. This is for the Bloods. Everybody who's a Blood, y'all should be mad at Wayne. A lot of people should be mad at Wayne because this is a guy that really represents y'all culture. It's like, you know what I'm saying? It's like, for example, I'll say, hey, everybody. I'm a Blood, and I'm gonna be a spokesman for the Bloods. I'm a leader. And then 3 months later I go, yeah, I'm real hard blooding. And then 3 months later I go, hey everybody, I'm gay. And I'm a gay Blood. That's Wayne. First it was killer, killer, boom, 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 and then it's leopard pants.
Special delivery too. He was a special delivery. You all right? Yes, Big Lack. How you doing, Wayne? Big Everything good?
My bad. Look, got the whole family here. So, everything good? My bad. Look, got the whole family here.
I was fucking at 11. I had Nate at 15, nigga. I had my daughter when I was 15, nigga. It ain't cause you a male, it ain't cause you 15, you supposed to, cause you're young money. You're supposed to. Fuck that shit, man. I got raped when I was 11, Twist. And I loved it. I ain't never pressed charges. I'ma do you like baby them did me. Yeah. I'll never forget that day. Yeah, no, they was all in the kitchen. I was scared. It was cool. There was about this many niggas and shit too in that bitch. I never forget the word. Suck la wine la dick.
I do this for fun. I don't really do it for status, you know. Y'all can tell we have a lot of fun. This ain't nothing serious. I love to do what I do. It's real like that. My Paul baby. Everything out here is family, you know what I'm saying? It's not even a fan thing, it's a family thing. It's real like that.
I'ma show you what type nigga I am, right? These niggas right here been bucking with me all night. I want y'all to come up here and fuck with me.
Come on, let them niggas
y'all
up here.
3, y'all 4, right? Yeah, all y'all come up here and fuck with a nigga. It's cool like that. You heard me?
What's
Look,
up?
Travis,
What's up?
what's wrong with her?
Come on, you wanna come up here?
Fuck that. What
You wanna come up here? You gonna shake it?
Look.
Come on, get up right here. Ducky, get on right there.
It's cool. I can take 2 of y'all.
Get on right there.
You and you. Come on, y'all come up
Y'all
here.
bullshit.
Black, get them up here. They been bucking with a
Look at
nigga
them
all
little rat.
night. I fuck
Little
with
ugly
niggas
bitch.
too.
I guess the last thing that, you know, people, Trick Daddy was throwing shots, saying, you know, Birdman doesn't know if he's a blood or a Crip or this, you know, this gay thing and that gay thing.
What do you mean? I don't understand.
He was saying that you was gay.
Come on, man. Come on, man. I'm a straight gangster, man. That nigga been in my hood. He know what's happening with me. You hear me? Nigga know what's happening with me, man.
Yeah.
I guess nigga get on the radio and won't be funny or something. But
Right.
Nigga know what's happening with me, man. Google me, man. Call anything in the 504 and ask about me. Google me, man. Watch what come up.
Yeah.
Straight G.
Oh, man. Damn.
Is it the same situation for you and Lil Wayne too?
Man, you know, I don't even look at him like that, man. I got a cat from the Holly Grove.
Yeah, I'm from the
I got Skip. I got Wacko. You know what I mean? I don't even look at him like that. Wayne, I look at him like a little boy. Cause look at, I mean, what kind of cat gonna go on national TV and kiss a cat that ain't his daddy and call him his daddy? You know what I mean?
Man.
Radio. This is officially Real Talk Radio. Drama Hour. Hour in the building.
Oh man.
Yeah, we got New Orleans in the building strong. I'm gonna tell y'all like this, they paint a picture wrong. And for you cats out there that think we be kissing, that's how we get along.
No,
we don't rock like that. I don't know what kind of picture they was trying to paint. This ain't no mafia.
Right, that was cool.
Cash Money wasn't no mafia, you know what I mean? And you definitely wasn't a mob boss or nothing like that. So I don't understand where the whole kissing situation came in at. You know what I mean? Y'all ain't noticed they just stopped kissing all of a sudden?
Yeah, they stopped.
Me and Skip put a song out called A Hoe, man.
You're a hoe, you kissing a nigga.
What kind of nigga kissing another man?
Like that, homie.
Like, boy, y'all got people thinking we kiss down here. Hell no, nigga. We don't rock like that, man.
See the grill. They gotta show. They want to see the. I ain't tripping. I put all this in my mouth for a reason. I got 100 plus. I got 15 carats. You understand? You won't see them. They big and they swole.
So when you kiss, I gotta ask, ladies. I got y'all up here. So when you kiss a girl, right?
Hey, I'm not the person he kissed.
I got y'all up here. So when you kiss a girl, right?
Hey, I'm not the person he kissed. That's how I roll. That's nobody else, man. We roll like that.
Now,
ain't no freak. We just roll like that. And my son, I raised them, you heard?
Pick the people that you
They
pick.
was all out the hood. I had some type of effect on their life before this music. I was fucking with Wayne. He was 6, you know what I'm saying? Jesus about 5 or 6. I had them niggas young.
He took me under his wing, you know what I'm saying, at an early age, you heard me, and he brainwashed me. Like I say, you know, I can understand, you know what I'm saying, you know, baby being able to get Wayne to do that, you know what I'm saying, because fuck, I was brainwashed at one time, you know what I'm saying, I would have did anything the nigga said do, I probably wouldn't have went that far, you know what I'm saying, I probably would have been like, you know, what you tripping off or whatever, but you know, Shorty ain't don't know no better, you know what I'm saying? Whole thing. He don't know no better though. I mean, you know, what could I say? What could I say? I'm trying to give him some credit. At least I'm trying to, you know what I'm saying, say he ain't know no better. Fuck.
You know what I'm saying? Can't be no lies a part of it. Everything between me and him, regardless of how we may deal with everybody else, I'm 100 with him. He 100 with me. That's the only way we gonna make it. And from the beginning, it's always been we. It ain't never been.
And watch this, Bun. I'm gonna say this too. You niggas out there think this shit is cool, but it ain't cool. Me and this man ain't never been butt naked in no room together with no hoes, pulling no orgy type shit or doing none of that whole ass shit you niggas out there be doing, thinking you doing some fly shit. Nigga, if you in a room naked with some other niggas and some broad, them niggas looking at your ass. And if that shit is gay, and you need to get on some other shit, me and this man got nothing but respect for each other. We ain't never pulling no train. We ain't no motherfucking freaks. We some family men. We getting this paper. You know what I'm talking about? And I had to put that out there, Bun, because a lot of niggas doing a lot of fugazi shit out here, man. You know what I'm saying? These niggas, they flip-floppy, they pitching and they catching with these boys, and they doing all this. So, and if you gay, that's cool, but be gay and come on out and be that. Don't be in front of us and acting like a straight-up G, and then you get over here and you letting these boys bust up your back. Because, you know, it gonna come to the light.
My new slogan is this: we come out December 4th, we gonna own the fourth quarter. You heard me? We gonna own the fourth quarter. And if you don't jump on the bandwagon now, it's a problem. Because I don't want you jumping on the bandwagon come when we this far. You better hop on now. I'm giving all these magazines, don't chop this. Everybody a chance to hop on now. Don't come hopping on later. I'm not like winning the Super Bowl and then want to automatically be a fan of mine. Don't do that. I'm advise you to hop on now.
Why are you doing an album together?
My thing is why not? You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. One thing I noticed about you, you're a really incredible dancer.
Oh, thank you.
And I wonder, like, how you...
the best dancer out right now.
You take moves from people like Chris Brown.
What? You said, do I take moves?
Yeah. I mean, he's dope.
Why would I take a move from him?
Yo,
nobody is touching my man. I got $1 million on it.
You pay for all time out, bro.
Come here, Teray.
You pay my bill, bro. Real talk, bro.
Teray,
For real.
talk it up.
Honestly, you don't, bro. So don't ask this man, is he taking moves from Chris Brown, and don't ask no other disrespectful ass, stupid ass questions. That's real talk. You got a problem when you can holler at me.
Wait, hold on.
That's real. That's real talk. Oh, let's ride, pal. Yeah, you probably about to go do 106 Park. I missed the 106 Park, homie. I'm out, bro. Come on. Oh, I ain't even finna let you go out like that, Pep. That's real talk, man.
The nigga doing 25 and anything over 1 digit was stand up guy. The nigga with 2 years and 3 years was down there fucking them boys in the ass. Nigga, you know you is, nigga. Know what I'm talking about, old punk ass nigga. And while I'm talking about it, there's a whole bunch of you hoe ass rap niggas that's in the closet, nigga. Yeah, you in the closet, nigga. Know what I'm talking about? You a homosexual. Know what I'm talking about? I ain't got nothing against you, but nigga, don't be trying to poison the pussy population, nigga, with your old sick dick. Know what I'm talking about? Get your motherfucking ass up out the way, nigga. All you niggas wearing them old fake ass diamonds, get your bitch ass out the way, nigga. We watching you, bitch. Look here, nigga. A 300 ain't no Bentley, nigga. And an apartment ain't no highs, nigga. And a Geneva watch ain't no Rolex. Get your mind on your money. Know what I'm talking about?
Oh my God, a dream. There you go. There you go. Oh, man. What the hell is your problem, buddy? We're doing an interview, right?
Yeah.
And he says, man, you know, like, he's a reporter, and he says, I'm your biggest fan. Can can I have a hug, please? Right. So I go to give this joker a hug, and he like tries to lean in to like kiss me.
Yeah.
You know, and
now that's first of all, how much?
It's just awkward, Dave.
I can see where it would be.
Yeah.
But what kind of a journalist? Oh, here's my thing.
Yeah.
You know, I'm Dan Rather. I'm going to see if I can't kiss people.
Yeah, you know.
He had a magazine financed by Warner Brothers and the rest of them. He set up sex rings in Hollywood. And the people that he brought in, if y'all tell me if I'm lying, Quincy Jones brought in Fresh Prince. And his first movie was what? 6 Degrees of Separation. Fucking some dude in the ass on a movie. Am I right or wrong? He brought in Queen Latifah.
Set it off.
Queen Latifah set it off, licking and kissing on women. Are you following me? Yes. Kevin Campbell. His little sweet ass up and down Hollywood Boulevard. Thank you. So y'all making me forget who's the other people that he brought in. He's working with the Barge family, and last but not least, when Tupac came to Hollywood, it was the homosexual ritual. This is where the homosexuals came out against it, but I didn't mind. I wasn't talking about homosexuals. I'm saying there's a homosexual ritual that they go through in the Illuminati secret societies. And it is. In Skull and Bones, they're made to lay in a coffin and masturbate and tell all their sexual secrets. So when I mentioned that about it marrying itself on to hip-hop, they said, well, can you prove it? Yeah. Go back and go online and read where Tupac said he was asked by Quincy Jones to fuck him in the ass. When Tupac said no, that's when Tupac was marked for death. Why? Because Tupac was engaged to Quincy Jones's daughter. Quincy Jones's daughter was best friend was Aaliyah. Aaliyah was engaged to Dame Dash. Now if y'all follow these people back, all of them either died or was brought to ruin.
Tupac could be anywhere underground, living as the Illuminati has him under patrol. Like they have underground dungeons. And these underground dungeons is not as bad as you think. They have a playground. They have fake grass. All of that stuff. They have shopping mall. I'm telling you what I know. A lot of people who you don't see no more that was once famous are living there right now. They grow old. The point of the matter is when they sell their soul, they don't want to die. Tupac never wanted to die. He sold his soul long ago. Okay? And y'all want to know this? Did he mess with transgenders? Let's put it this way. The executive producers who pretty much put Tupac in movies had sex with him. So in essence, they gave him fellatio, and then Pac had to pop them. And I know y'all don't want to hear that because that's y'all man. That's Tupac. But he is no better than the rest of them. He messed with gay men the way the rest of them have done. That's not a one person in Hollywood have not followed the trends. You see Wu-Tang, right? You think they all hard. You don't think Method Man been in the bed with Jewish men because he have. Now, if to look at that brother, he hardcore, huh? That dude been in man, please, with transgenders as well. Kevin Gates, same thing. He's a switch hitter. He'll play hard when he come on 106. What I want to say, the Breakfast Club, he always, man, my wife, she want to play with my booty, and I was like, I ain't down with that. That's dead giveaway. Ain't nobody talking about booty. But see, a man that intertwined with other men, he brings up gay scenarios to make himself don't look gay, but realistically he is gay. But he figured if he put it out there, he protects his masculinity. But really, he is a switch hitter. Kevin Gates is bisexual. All right, and he worships Satan on a regular. He just like the rest of them, and he drink blood.
I'm scrolling through my comments, you heard me? See how you little pussy ass boys commenting, talking about some, man, Gates, you eat ass? Yeah, nickel. I'm a gangster, nickel. Real niggas eat booty, man. Real niggas please they bitches, nickel. I don't get tired.
All this ass play is priming you for something.
all this infatuation with the ass and the asshole and having heterosexual men obsessed with the asshole is to prime you for something else.
And what's that?
To be comfortable with sodomy. To just be comfortable with ass play. And to make you so comfortable that now you can't talk about somebody else who's into ass play. Because they're psychologically making you feel like sodomy, and that's what it is, anal sex, is part of natural sex. So now if they get you constantly fucking a girl in the ass, how could you complain about when a guy does it to another guy? If you're eating a girl's asshole out, how can you complain when this guy's eating that guy's asshole out?
J Beans? J and Beans? Yeah. Yo, all that's eventual. All I gotta tell y'all is I told y'all in 2002, and y'all ain't believe me. I told y'all that nigga was a crab, and y'all ain't believe me. You know what I'm saying? How many accounts gotta come up? Dane, Biggs, R. Kelly, Kiss, Beans. I mean, the list go on. That nigga's a crab. It ain't no hate involved, but you know, you gonna see. Still biting my style. Jaz-O's the best. Secret Society with Jay-Z, man. He's involved, but he's involved with this shit, man. He involved with that play shit.
So, if Young Thug tweets "Eat a Booty" Day, who does that go to? Boys or girls? Don't do it, Young Thug. Don't do it. Do not tweet "Eat a Booty Day." Gimmicks. Everybody's looking for a gimmick. This could be a gimmick. Yo, you need some buzz? Do something out the box. Young Thug cannot be gay. He can just be a gimmick. Nah, that nigga gay. Raleigh voice. Nigga, you gay.
This is the biggest reason. Let us start the video. And in this video, I want to expose to y'all rich gang members doing a fucking gay ritual kiss live on camera. I'm gonna play for you a fucking clip that was recorded last year. This ritual was caught live on camera. So hey, let me play this motherfucking bullshit. Whoa, this motherfucker's gone gayer than a fucking rainbow, motherfucker. Let me just fucking rewind that fucking thought. And when you put a fucking camera in front of these motherfuckers, they are now showing you the fucking gay ritual fucking live on fucking camera. Like, what the fuck is this? This ain't no fucking hip-hop shit. This is fuck shit, man. Let's just replay that. What the fuck was that?
We in the motherfucking building, 2015, yeah, nigga, what up? Woo, 2015, Rich Gang, man. 2015, Bird loves us, he loves us. I'm in motherfucking Rich Gang and shit, and you niggas keep trying to test me, y'all keep trying to test me. Keep trying to see if I'm under the 5 and shit, but anyway, yeah, I was on Media Takeout on World Star and shit, and yeah, Birdman fucked me. He fucked me in the ass for the deal. I'm gonna be real. Birdman fucked me for the deal, man. I suck Birdman.
So it's like these niggas will wear dresses and all this type of shit. But now they pulling out guns and all this type of shit, trying to prove that, yo, I don't give a fuck if I got a dress on, I'm still a hard nigga. I still don't front on niggas and throwing up gang signs and all that type of shit. It's like, where they do that at? Like, I've known some real gang banging motherfuckers in my life. I'm talking Cali gang banging nigga. You know what I mean? I've never seen a gangbanging dude wearing a dress or no shit like that.
You're always talking bad about women, never anything bad about men.
Women should just chill out on talking too much and going into too many details about the things that they've been through in the past when they just met a man.
Woman, you want to go home to a poodle and a rabbit in your drawer, helping you to go to sleep every night? You replacing a man with a machine, a vibrator? Stop playing, man.
Well, he likes men.
I do got to ask you about the leopard print joint you had on. Now, was that a shirt or was that a dress?
Oh yeah, that was a dress.
That was a dress.
These niggas is garbage, man. They can't really rap. They not really in the streets. They not really piecing up no real bars. They not really doing the shit they say they do in these raps. The only reason why you probably hearing them on the radio a lot and seeing they video a lot is because they got like little weird situations with niggas. I don't know if it's like a homosexual situation, some believing in the devil type situation, some going against the grain situation. Niggas be doing any and everything they gotta do to get in position. And these niggas, they might be on the radio a lot, you might see they video a lot, but they don't get no respect. And when they come out in the streets, they be petrified. I don't wanna live that type of lifestyle, and I don't wanna be that type of nigga.
I mean, I'm a conspiracy theorist to a degree. Like when I connect dots that maybe shouldn't be connected, I don't know. But certain dots, like when I see that they put every black man in the movies in a dress at some point in their career, I'll be connecting them down like, wow, all these brothers gotta wear a dress. This happened to me. I'm doing a movie with Martin.
Yeah.
The movie's going good. So I walk in the trailer. I'm like, man, this must be the wrong trailer because there's a dress in here. They come in. The writer comes in. I think he's the writer. He's like, Dave, listen, we got this hilarious scene where Martin's sneaking out of jail. So he disguises you as a prostitute. And he put this dress on. And, what? The prostitute? Nah, I'm not doing that. I don't feel comfortable with that. That should have been in the discussion. What? You don't feel comfortable with it? I mean, it's a hilarious bit. All the greats have done it. So, well, if all the greats have done it, it's kind of hacky, right? You're right. So why don't we just not do it? Because I don't feel comfortable wearing a dress. Oh, come on, Dave, listen, we got it all set up. We're supposed to shoot. Every minute you waste costs this much money. You know, the pressure comes in. He said, I'm not wearing no dress, man. I'm funnier than a dress. Just give me something funny to say. I don't need to wear no dress to be funny. What am I, Milton Berle? You know, we're going like this. And then finally he's like, and he leaves. And then, like, the director comes, Dave, it really would be great if you wear the dress. What is wrong? What is this, Brokeback Mountain in here? So then, wear the dress. I don't want to wear the dress. I want to wear this dress. You know what I mean? This is, oh gosh, this guy's so difficult. They leave. Now the producers comes, come on, David, would be so great. I mean, and then I started thinking about it. All the comics that I've seen, man, you know, strong brothers, why they be putting us in these dresses? But the minute it was clear, I was adamant, I'm not wearing a dress. I'm not wearing the dress. All right, fine. Think of something else. Guy comes back 10 minutes later, the whole new scene. Damn, how did you write the scene so fast?
Chappelle, another great comedian, said that, you know, in the industry, they tried to make him wear a dress. Have you ever ran into that with scripts? And is that something that, you know, you wouldn't do, you know, for
I definitely haven't ran into to put on the dress. I mean, you know, you have to have boundaries. You have to have limits that you refuse to cross. You know, for me, I know what they are. They've yet to been challenged, so you know, I don't have to speak on them. I was asked to dribble a basketball on the talk show this morning.
You look
said
good
no to that. Not that was a dress, but I was like, no, I'm gonna look stupid. You know, at the end of the day, you got to know that you're a brand. I'm a brand. You need to protect your brand at all times. When things happen that can possibly affect your brand, your brand can be diminished, and you don't want that to happen. So, you know, protecting my brand is definitely a priority.
And from the looks of it, the new pope is not Turkson. The new pope is 9-year-old Oscar nominee Kavashane Wallace.
I don't think anyone saw this.
There was a recent controversy online, I know you don't spend all your time online, about Kevin Hart wearing a dress in the SNL skit. And Dave Chappelle spoke about that as a comedian. Black actors are always, you know, being asked to wear dresses. Have you ran into that? And what do you think about that whole Illuminati theory that people put out there about that?
Well, thanks for that softball question. It's two answers. First of all, let's be very, very clear. It is possible that there isn't anything funnier than a guy in a dress. And if that's the case, then it might also be said that there's nothing funnier than a black guy in a dress. At the end of the day, Kevin doesn't have to worry about what people are going to say about him wearing a dress because of the long line of dress-wearing people before him. So now we had Big Mama's house 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah.
I've never seen Medea in a pantsuit. I think she wears dresses. So now I'm saying, why are we picking on poor little Kevin Hart? Because it was his turn next.
Okay.
Some of us are against the Illuminati, and we are against the Illuminati at our own detriment. When people are against the Illuminati, then they get punched in the face all the time. The press hates them, and nobody likes them. But Dave Chappelle was decapitated in front of us. And until we deal with that, until we deal with the fact that a devout Muslim who doesn't eat bacon was accused of being a crackhead, until we establish the fact that they said that he went to Africa to smoke cocaine when we know they don't have running water and food over there, when they don't have paved roads over there. You saying he flew past Chicago and Miami and LA and New York and Detroit. You saying he went past Cleveland and Fort Pierce, Florida, and he went past Okeechobee and Oakland. You say he went to another country where they're not eating?
Right.
You talking about somebody who has a wife and children, 5 children, and lives on a farm, doesn't live here in Hollywood. You saying you convince people that person was an insane crackhead, and he hasn't been on movies and TV for 8 years? Is that correct? Okay, then don't tell me about what you want to tell me about. I just watched you decapitate the king in front of me, and then act like he's supposed to catch up and be a regular comedian like everybody else. But no,
he didn't go for that.
That's not how it went. He was out there with us for 20 years. They called him Pilot Boy because he had 19 pilots in Hollywood, and everybody passed on him and said his show wasn't worth it.
What do you think of
Then when he made $500 million, they said even though his contract said he should get half of it, they said he made too much for the contract to be valid, so we'll offer you 10% of what you made. You mean he made $500 million and they offered him 50? Yes. And he said, what do you think my fans are gonna say when they find out you offered me 10% of what I made you? And they said, your fans will believe that you're a crazy crackhead by the time you get home. And my nigga got on the flight in LA, and by the time he got to Ohio, it was so. And 8 years later, he hasn't been in a movie and or television. Is just now trying to do his real comeback at Radio City Music Hall. It bees like that sometimes. So now you can be the fake king or you can be the real king.
Then Cat Williams came out and said what he said about Mike. But Cat Williams was correct when he said those mansion parties, and y'all don't understand what go on with that shit, man.
See, now you have to bring my viewers up to speed on that, because the whole Cat, I'm not even hip to that, what was said about that. What did Cat Williams?
Cat Williams said they was letting him in, and the stuff that he was seeing was blowing his mind.
You in the ATL and a nigga doing drugs in the ATL, the nigga at least excuse himself, go to the bathroom or some shit. Niggas in Hollywood just do the drugs right in front of you and act like ain't shit happened. You in the middle of a goddamn meeting. Yeah, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna do the movie with you, and then we're gonna go back.
Nigga, did you know that I can see you? Nigga, you right there. It's on your nose, nigga. What?
Motherfuckers be gay in Hollywood, you never fucking expected. They be having these big ass mansion parties, and the mansion party, the whole mansion is a party, and then it's a separate party in the little rooms. I ain't been famous that goddamn long. I'm excited in a motherfucker to be at the mansion party. You be looking in all the goddamn rooms, and you fuck around and look in the wrong room and shit. Nigga, come here, come here. Is that 2 niggas kissing? Is one of them niggas Professor Obie? He came out the closet, he came out the closet. Oh my God, a rubber. Shut the goddamn door.
And I'm telling y'all right now, if y'all don't want to believe it, watch in the next couple of years. They coming after Cat Williams. Cat Williams tell too much truth. they coming after Cat Williams, man. Seriously. Do you understand what I'm saying?
And it's crazy. It's crazy how, you know what I'm saying, like they pull it off on you like that. And like with Jay-Z, I had so much respect for Jay. But it's like now as I'm becoming aware and I'm awakening to what's going on. Like I said, me coming out the young culture or whatever, it's sad, man. Like, it's really sad. Like, how can you deceive so many masses of people when everybody listens to Jay?
He is doing the bidding of his masters.
And he's doing a great job, though. That's why they're rewarding him with basketball teams. And that's why Jay, for real, y'all got to understand, Jay is the most powerful man in hip-hop right now. Not Puff Daddy, not 50 Cent, Jay-Z. Well, he does the bidding of his masters well. That's what I'm saying.
I beg to differ with that. The most powerful men in hip-hop, we don't see.
Oh yeah,
they don't have mics.
Right.
They ain't got to go on stage and clown and, you know, buck dance. They don't.
Well, you could say he's the most powerful face that they're using. Like, he's the ultimate to where
exactly.
I read some of your letters, man, because you know a lot of them hit the internet, man. One of the things you were talking about a lot while you were in prison was a lot of the conspiracy theory stuff, Illuminati stuff. Do you still believe that?
Yeah. It's real.
Talk to me about, because I remember, can we bring this up real quick? It's just it's from your letter. I'm going to read it. It says, the exact moment in time when I discovered that the entire planet was being lied to and was put upon a spell to keep us unaware of it was back in 1996, around the time Biggie got locked up for the tech in his house. And then there was something else here that I thought was interesting. You said, Jay-Z knows the truth, but he chose sides with evil in order to be accepted in the corporate. Jay-Z conceals the truth from the black community and promotes the lifestyle of the beast instead.
It's a level of success where it's a door. It's a door. When you platinum and you getting 50,000 a show, I've been there. There's a door that you could walk in. I'm not sure if it's homo or if it's Illuminati. I just didn't take that though. I went straight.
Do you think that
I'm pretty sure I've done.
Do you think you've done songs with gay rappers?
Yeah, I think I've done songs with gay rappers.
You're pretty sure of that?
I'm pretty sure of that.
You don't have to name names.
I'm pretty sure the football niggas is gay. The basketball niggas is gay. There's millions of gay people in the world. Yeah, girls too. Like they just, for some reason, once again, I'm not a fan of that shit either. I'm a fan of, yo, I'm gay. What the fuck? Like, 2011, you gotta hide that you're gay? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, be real. Like, yo, I'm gay. What the fuck? If you gay, you gay. Like, that's your preference. You know, fuck it if the people don't like it.
In a field like hip hop, which is very, very
homophobic. Cool. It's the greatest. It's the greatest gay market in the world.
Do you think that there'll ever be an out of the closet gay rapper?
It's owned. The hip hop community is most likely owned by gay. To be honest with you.
But do you think there'll be
they're owned by gay. I happen to think there's a gay mafia in hip hop. This is the fucking gay mafia, my man.
Right.
Like, you know what I'm saying? They are in power. So why wouldn't a guy come out and say, yo, I'm gay, and get that type of love? I mean, Lady Gaga, I don't know if she's gay, but she running with that gay shit for real. And she is winning.
When you look at gays in the entertainment business.
Yeah, they're around.
They're around. And would you really be surprised that there would already be an established gay rapper who's in the closet? Considering how many gay people there are in entertainment.
Oh, no, I think that there are several rappers that are in the closet and gay. And see, those are the type of gay people the only type of gay people I have a problem with. I don't have a problem with gay people. Gay people are, Beyonce should have said, who run the world? Gays. Because they everywhere, man. You know what I'm saying? And rightfully so speaking, man. Do you. It's a free country. Be gay. You can, do that. Game don't have a problem with gay people. Game has a problem with people that are pretending not to be gay, but that are gay. Because the number one issue with that is that you can be fooling somebody and you can give them AIDS.
The Bible says you will gain the whole world, lose your soul. People want to hide behind their public image so much. It's a spiritual warfare going on. We're fighting. We're talking about kids that's been molested. The Bible talks about that, okay? And guess what? I will risk my public image any day to send a message to the whole world that I'm not gay, I'm not crazy, and I'm telling the truth. Jesus gave, you gotta, hold on, wait. Guess what? See, the problem is everybody want to hide behind their name and their self-image. They won't give that up. So, everybody, Fizz. Why would he call me a homo? Why would he say I don't fuck with homos when he took it up his ass first? Okay, so Fizz took it up in his ass first from Marcus Houston. We know he can't handle it, so he wants to. Okay. Okay, we know Boog. I know Boog is a G ass nigga, and I've had my words. And I've had my words with Boog.
Last year you were on Instagram, you said, so I've come home every time I turn on the TV, some gay shit. I try to watch Love and Hip Hop, gay shit. Try to watch Empire, gay shit. Watching a cartoon, doing gay shit. A fucking cartoon. Kids watch TV. What's your take on that these days?
They're trying to make everybody fucking gay. That's what I think. They're putting it on our culture. They're putting it everywhere. Gay stuff is everywhere, you know. And I think they're just trying to do it to make a monetary gain. You know, they're not doing it for the gays. They're not really fans of the gays. They're doing it for monetary gain, man. They're trying to make money off these people, man. You know, you got cartoons they have gays on cartoons. Like, these are kids. Let kids make their own decision if they want to go that way. You know, 6 and 7-year-olds, 5-year-olds shouldn't be turned on to gay cartoons when their mind not even developed yet. You know, what if they like how that cartoon talk? Now you're forcing them to be gay. You know, every TV show is gays. They're kissing each other. Like, it's out of hand, man. And people, I got backlash from the gays. But, you know, I speak my mind. Like, everywhere you go, they're forcing this gay stuff on. It wasn't like that when I was coming up.
And we know this. Bro, you do anything for, like, Wayne was trying to sneak into the gay world. He was trying to stay hood, but trying to grasp that gay fan base. Yeah. Them motherfuckers are in the billions, bro. Gay people are in the billions. And Macklemore does stuff for gay people. Macklemore does stuff for gay people, bro. And when they put them votes in, 1 billion of them rainbow motherfuckers was tallying up.
When a new Jack come in prison, right, he don't have no imagination what's going on in prison. He don't understand who's who, what's what, right? Most all young guys come in prison, they will try to find a homosexual first to find out who got the drugs, who to talk to, who not to talk to, you know, which back swings to move on, right? In certain jails, you have a lieutenant standing up there, and when guys come in, everybody's standing up there and they point down, yeah, that young motherfucker's mine, that's mine. First of all, right, if he's a newcomer, right, I want him to suck my ass with jelly.
Real niggas eat booty, man. Man, I'd rather be a real nigga that eat booty than a pussy, scary, bitch ass.
y'all? It is Devin with Up TV, and yes, I'm finally about to give y'all the truth about Jay-Z and his new album 444. I wanted to make sure I actually listened to the album a few times before I came to any conclusions about this album, and I hate to say it, but nothing has changed with Jay-Z since '96 when he came out with the album Reasonable Doubt. He is just as satanic as he's always been, and this album is no exception. Now, before I get deep into what I think about 444, let me just give y'all a little background info about the Carters. We're gonna speak on their legacy.
J Beans? J and Beans? Yeah. Yo, all that's eventual. All I gotta tell y'all is I told y'all in 2002, and y'all ain't believe me. I told y'all that nigga was a crab, and y'all ain't believe me. You know what I'm saying? How many accounts gotta come up? Dane, Biggs, R. Kelly, Kiss, Beans. I mean, the list go on. That nigga's a crab. It ain't no hate involved, but you know, you gonna see. Still biting my step. Jaz-O's the best. Secret Society with Jay-Z, man. He's involved, but he's involved with this shit, man. He involved with that play shit. Like, see, people don't understand the science behind Satan, Lucifer, and God. And if you notice, he calls himself Jehovah or Hove. And before they started retranslating, you know, the New American version of the Bible, you know, Jehovah was known as a jealous God in the Bible. But I'm gonna give people the simple and general overstanding that all of those people, many of those prophets in the Bible, and even when you talk about these different deities in the Bible, they were not people. Even when you go into the Egyptian pantheon, like, they weren't people. But as far as Homeboy, like, it's really a bunch of Masons. See, the whole Freemason thing is based on a lower level of understanding. Like, the real secrets have never been revealed. They weren't supposed to be revealed. So all these people, they walking around like they know something for real, but they don't really know shit. You know, and he doing those little signs and all of that. Those are symbols that have been out there. They've been propagating them shits for a few thousand years. But number one, anybody who knows high magic knows that those shits don't have any power anymore. Number two, you know, everybody knows what they basically mean, like the understanding of it. Like, you know, as far as the pyramid and stuff like that I'm not really gonna go into. But I'm saying that simply to say that dude think he knows shit, but he still don't know shit. He could get as many degrees as he want, but it's just like trying to get all degrees you want, but you still got a ceiling. He can't go but so high because the people that he worshiping, that he kissing their ass and letting them fill him up and shit, they don't know shit. They trying to find out every day from us. That's why they follow hip hop. That's why they follow the blues. That's why they follow soul. That nigga's nothing. That's my son, unfortunately.
Now understand, Jay-Z sold his soul before Tupac died. I don't know how many times I said this, but go back and listen to his song The Evils or Devils. If you never heard it before, go check it out. He took a direct sample from Snoop Dogg's Murder Was the Case, in which Snoop admitted he sold his soul, but he also used Prodigy's bars, which helped tell Jay-Z's story. And this is his sellout story. The chorus is, "Dear God, I wonder, can you save me? Illuminati want my mind, soul, and my body. Dear God, I wonder, can you save me? Secret society, trying to keep their eye on me." In the first verse of this song, Jay-Z says, "This shit is wicked in these mean streets. None of my friends speak. We all trying to win. But then again, maybe it's for the best though. Cause when they're saying too much, you know they're trying to get you touched." Now, you could take these lines and say that he's referring to somebody snitching by saying too much, but when I read these lines, I feel like he's referring to Tupac and Death Row. Understand, at this time, Pac wasn't cool with Snoop or Dre. Everybody from Death Row went their own separate ways, and Pac was saying too much about the Illuminati with his whole Illuminati movement he was starting. So he was calling out everybody. He called out Biggie, he called Biggie the Notorious P.I.G. Jay-Z was Gazy. He was getting at everybody. So they got him touched. They had Pac killed.
I told you you can't trust these niggas. Now Puffy done killed Tupac, man. I told you you can't trust these niggas. Now Puffy done killed Tupac, man.
Now continuing on, he says, whoever said illegal was the easy way out couldn't understand the mechanics and the workers of the underworld. Granted. Now, when you think of the underworld, what do you think of? I know in my mind, I instantly think of the devil or Hades. Before you try to go deep in this game, you better understand the mechanics and the workings of the underworld. Granted. What does he mean when he says granted? He says that because in order to be a part of the underworld and make millions and live a life as a superstar, you have to be granted that by the devil by selling your soul.
What's up right now? Hollywood used for spells, or Holly Tree used for spells. The sorcerers and witchcraft, people who did witchcraft, would take Hollywood specifically from the Holly Tree and use it to manifest or conjure spirits in order to aid them for things that they want in this world. Specifically, material gain was one of the things that were being ritual and manifested. So these entities, in return for helping these people, Masons, Illuminati, and all of these crazy ass white people who do the shit they do, these entities would bargain you. They would want to host you because they don't have a physical body. So, or like I broke down in one of my videos, when you sell your soul, selling your soul is two things. Just going against your righteousness and doing something that you know is wrong. But for two, selling your soul is allowing a external entity to inhabit you while you are in your physical life, and basically you take a back seat while in your own body. Now, why is this important? Because this is what demons or negative entities bargain you for. This is the deal. This is where selling your soul comes in. So a lot of people in Hollywood have to do three things. If you're a female, you gotta basically get a train ran on you, and you gotta just get violated, straight like that. If you're a man, depending on the type of man, they're gonna come at you different. So like if you're a gangster rapper, you're somebody like Young Jeezy, they're not really gonna ask you nothing gay because they know you're not gonna do it. So they might tell you to sacrifice somebody you love. Or outside of that, if you're a man, they're either gonna tell you to have sex with a kid, sacrifice somebody you love, or do something homosexual, because they know that these three things are direct covenants of the universe. This is why the homosexual flag is the chakras upside down, because being a homosexual or committing acts that you don't know reverse your spiritual frequency and put you on a demonic plane. And when you do something that you know is wrong, it eats at you. And once you manifest that negative energy, now that entity can feed off that. Because like I broke down in my spirit diet video, certain entities feed off certain emotions, just like you eat certain foods for certain flavors. So if you're feeling sad and depressed and regretful, that's a flavor for a food of an entity that eats off that. Now, when we deal with why would you have to have sex with a child, or anal sex, or why would a man have to have anal sex with you, you have to understand the science behind that as well. It's not just to degrade you. There is something called vago-vasal that goes on. Vago, V-A-G-O, vasal, V-A-S-A-L. There's a process called vago-vasal when you have anal sex with a child. What this is the pain from the child basically at his anus, tailbone, shoots up. There's an electrical surge that shoots up the spine, and it explodes in the brain. And it actually causes the brain to split and give the child a separate personality. And this is why kids who get molested tend to always be zoned out or out of this world. Because the vago-basal is basically the effect of getting anally raped, and the pain from that penetrating the anus shoots up the spine and explodes the brain and splits it in two paradigms. So now why is it important? Because the extra paradigm is what the entity uses to inhabit and to control you. And now you see motherfuckers like Nicki Minaj, she got about 4, 5, 8 paradigms. She's Martha, Roman, all these different characters, because she's going through the vago-vasal process. She keeps splitting the paradigm of her mind so that entities can inhabit her. Now also, we have to understand that the anus is what? Direct entry to the bloodstream. This is why, I don't know if you never did it before, but a lot of people, I've seen the underworld, I know the crazy things people do. People who pop pills, put the pill right in the girl butt. Because it gets them high immediately. Excuse my language, it is what it is. Why? Because it goes directly to the bloodstream. So if you was to sip a teaspoon of alcohol in your mouth, you will be alright. Because it has to go down and get digested and broke it down and then distributed to the bloodstream. If I put a teaspoon of alcohol in your butt or liquor in your butt, you damn near gonna die. Because it's too much going right to the bloodstream. So we understand that the anus is a direct entrance to the blood. Now why is this important? Because your semen rhymes with what? Demon. This is not by coincidence. Your semen carries an entity. But the Caucasian has perverted this. He has perverted our science of sperm to semen. The entity that's being channeled through whoever you are having sex with transfers to you. So if I'm somebody who just did an evil ass demonic Illuminati ritual, or I'm a shapeshifting reptilian myself and I butt rape you, then I just transfer my spirit into you. Let alone it's an anal rape. So the vagal-vagal process takes place. I split the paradigm, and now I can really latch onto your soul. So what we have to understand is Hollywood is the home of these motherfuckers who do shit like this. You have to understand, everybody that you see on TV, all of this shit, these motherfuckers is hybrids, clones, or shapeshifters. Fuck if you don't believe it or not. It is what it is. So we have to understand that Hollywood, once again, the Hollywood from a tree was used to cast spells. Media, television, all that shit is casting spells on your mind. And just to even get initiated or accepted into Hollywood, you have to go through one of the 3 rituals. It's not no ifs, ands, or buts about it. And the reason that they kill celebrities is because when you accept their sector or their oath of silence, you give them permission to slay you for dishonoring your oath. It's just like in the streets. Nigga, we selling drugs, we hustling. You said you wasn't gonna snitch. You take the stand on us and snitch, we gon' murk you, nigga. Why? Because you accepted the code of the streets by doing something criminal. But an everyday citizen can call the police on you. You're not gonna go kill them for snitching because they're not from your hood. They have not accepted the hood nigga oath. Same thing with Hollywood. Once you accept that oath into Hollywood, they're coming. Once you get a bank account, see, bank accounts are tracked. They have a machine in Europe called the 666. They call it the Beast. This machine can literally track anybody on planet Earth that has a bank account or a social security card. Now why is it important? Because your bank account number is attached to your social security. So, for anybody who's a citizen. So, once you hit a certain motherfucking amount of money, that machine in Europe, because remember all this shit is owned by Europe, automatically alerts these motherfucking high-ranking secret society niggas that you have a whole lot of motherfucking money. So why is this important? Because now they come for you. Because when you got money, you got the power to change shit in their matrix, in their world. Even though we know money has no value, and I hope all black people wake up and we just turn our back on money, period. But until then, people are using money, so you gotta play the fucking game. So with that being said, if you, once they say, oh, this motherfucker reached 10 million, no, nigga, you about to get down with the program. Either you are going to continue to do certain things, or nigga, you getting shut the fuck out. You'll never be on TV again. This is why you got rappers like D-Block or the Locks, and they never left the streets. But we all can agree that them niggas is hotter than anybody that you listen to today. Why they never went platinum? Why they never got a record deal? Because they didn't want to get down with the get down. Now, the point I'm trying to make is you have to understand that Hollywood is the home of spiritual and mental demonic dominion on the planet Earth. Switzerland, Russia, all of that shit is where they're in more colder areas are where they're stashing shit and doing shit with technology that they don't got no business doing, like the CERN machine and shit like that. Anywhere where it's cold, Alaska, Russia, where you just can't immediately go, that's where they stash shit and create shit. Because they know niggas ain't about to be walking way the fuck up no 10,000 mile mountain, snow everywhere to be nosy. You're not going to do that. And then they use Hollywood because that's the most negative frequency. So they bring the entities in through this frequency and they use you as a host.
9 to 5 is how you survive. This is what Jay-Z says. I ain't trying to survive. I'm trying to live it to the limit and love it a lot. I mean, think about that. Sounds like he's willing to do anything. Anything. Life ills poison my body. I used to say, fuck my skills. I never pray to God. I pray to God-E. That's right, it's wicked. That's life, I live it. Ain't asking for forgiveness of my sins. Wow. You pray to God? I mean, you pray to God-E? You never pray to God? You know what I'm saying? He says, that's right, it's wicked. That's life, I live it. Just to confirm that he meant what he said to y'all. Now, these is Jay-Z's own words. If you think Jay-Z is spiritually right, then something is wrong with you. I don't feel right even repeating these words because I love my Lord and Savior and never want to shame or undermine his power and authority in any way. But anyways, fast forward, Jay-Z comes out with H to the Izzo, V to the Izzy. This is when he declares himself to be God. That's why he calls himself Jehovah, like the name of God, Jehovah. He even confirms this on his Blueprint album when he does the song Takeover, which was a diss to Nas. He makes it clear that he feels he is God when he says, and I quote, God MC me Jehovah. His album titled The Black Album is a tell-all album, even having a song on the album called Lucifer, and everybody who knows Jay-Z, even if they like him, know that this is an extremely satanic song.
I feel like, Sinatra, in my time, modern day Sinatra, so, I try to live up to that, I get possessed by the spirits.
Both Carters, Jay-Z and Beyonce, have admitted to being possessed. In Beyonce, we actually got to see the possession take place during her Super Bowl halftime performance.
To see this satanic witch's face change as these legion of demons manifest in her face and in her eyes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move it along slowly. You'll see the evil, demonic expressions in her face, as well as her eyes change pitch black, like black marbles. You'll see her tongue change. Her tongue is going to be filled with a tremendous amount of veins. Pay close attention. You're going to see her eyes change to pitch black. You're going to see her facial features change. Look at her neck. It's going to look like something is coming out of her neck or coming into her neck. It's very, very satanic and very disgusting looking. It's so quick, she's morphing. Her tongue, if you can see her tongue now, her tongue has changed and it has a tremendous amount, it looks like veins or different type of lines running through it. I truly believe, as the Lord said in the word, that he's going to put enmity between the seed of Satan and the seed of the woman. And then in Revelation, it talks about the dragon attacking the woman that birthed the child. I believe we're talking about the wheat and the tares. There is a satanic, reptilian, a serpent bloodline. You can see her tongue change and then change back. You can see her eyes turn pitch black. Can you see that, folks? Beyonce has officially left the building. You're going to see a very evil and sinister look come on her face as that entity has now. You can see the hate in the eyes of this demonic entity. Folks, this is not a joke. Millions of children, millions of young girls worship and idolize this demonic, satanic witch. She is nothing more than a child molester, as all Satanists are. She's a child murderer. Her music is to destroy the souls of as many people as she can. And there are so-called Christians that allow their daughters, their sons to listen to this music. This music is from the pits of hell.
When Jay released his album Magna Carta Holy Grail, it was no different. This album was very satanic. In one song called Crown, Jay says, "Bitch asked if I was God. Fuck, I'm supposed to say no?" In another song, Heaven, he says, "Arm, leg, arm, head, this is God body." For those that don't know, arm, leg, arm, head is Allah. That's what it spells. Knowledge, wisdom, freedom, understanding. We just want our equality. Food, clothing, shelter. Help a nigga find some peace. Happiness for a gangster. Ain't no love in these streets. Conspiracy theorists screaming Illuminati. They can't believe this much skill is in a human body. I'ma keep it real. Don't go listen to this song without the armor of Christ on you. Because this song will make you question your spiritual beliefs. I believe you shouldn't stay closed-minded. I think that you should be open-minded. I personally have studied many major religions, but the truth is, I believe personally that the truth is found in the Bible. Believe that. The song is dark in nature, and understand these demonic forces ain't nothing to play with at all. So just a heads up and warning, this song is evil. Just like the song he did on his album with Kanye called Watch the Throne. The song No Church in the Wild again attacks religious people, with Frank Ocean on the chorus saying, and I quote, "Human beings in a mob. What's a mob to a king? What's a king to a god? What's a god to a non-believer who don't believe in anything?" This is atheism. And he creates songs to confuse and mislead the youth to believe there is no God. Everybody has seen the shirt Jay-Z with the quote saying, "Do what thy will." This was written by Aleister Crowley, the creator of the Satanic Church.
Do what thou wilt shall be the whole of the law is an ethical code that has seeped into our culture, infiltrating Hollywood circles and spanning to the highest tiers of our power structure. It's known as the Law of Thelema, found in the writings of Aleister Crowley. And while some have labeled Crowley the wickedest man in the world, others have affectionately dubbed him the most notorious occult magician of the 20th century. So who was Crowley, and does he really deserve the title of the wickedest man in the world? Or was he just a spoiled rich pervert with nothing else to do? Well, hopefully at the end of this 5-minute video, you'll be able to tell me. Aleister Crowley's real name is Edward Alexander Crowley, and he grew up in England with evangelical Christian parents, even attending a Christian boarding school growing up. Crowley's life did a 180 when his father died of cancer. His father's death marks the start of Crowley's dysfunction, accented by a growing hatred of his mother and the church, which spiraled into destructive behavior, drug abuse, and an obsession with sex. From the diaries of Aleister Crowley, he recalled this period of his life and his resentment of the church as this: "I wanted sin, a supreme spiritual sin, but hadn't the slightest idea how to go about it." So Crowley separated himself from his pious start, publishing his erotic and lewd poetry while at Cambridge, documenting his rapidly growing obsession with promiscuity. There at Cambridge, his interest in magic, secret societies, and the occult ignited, and thus his desire to become a black magician manifested, which became the driving force propelling him throughout the rest of his life. The Golden Dawn, a secret society of literary and other notable figures, wasn't enough for Crowley. He craved a darker variety of magic, and practicing dangerous rituals with risks of setting loose evil spirits sort of satiated his hunger. But he wanted more sin, more power, at whatever cost. Crowley joined covens but never stayed in them due to his lack of respect for the practices of the coven, as well as his homosexual inclinations. He also became a high-ranking Freemason, holding membership at several lodges and gaining several Masonic degrees. On his honeymoon, Crowley and his wife visited Egypt. His wife was said to have encountered a deity or a spirit or a demon on their honeymoon during a ritual they did. When Crowley prompted her to reveal what spirit she encountered, she showed him an exhibit at a museum in Cairo. The exhibit's number? 666, the number of the beast in the Book of Revelation. And despite his well-published and documented dabbling, or really submersion into the occult, he was hired by British intelligence as an agent. He even played a major role in the plot to overthrow the government of Spain. Crowley's use of drugs is noteworthy. Not only his self-medicating, but also his drugging of others. Unbeknownst to them, he would invite individuals over for dinner, drug them, and document their behavior. Crowley's role in World War II involved propaganda. He became the editor of a pro-German magazine called The Fatherland, pitched ideas to help the Allies, and dropped occult pamphlets to the German countryside, which painted the German leadership as satanic. Thus, his prowess in propaganda might explain why his practices and teachings are still in vogue today. An emphasis of Crowley's teachings is sex magic, which is really part of a formula and rituals that make use of sex itself as an integral element. Crowley identified sex as the most powerful force in life, and the supreme source of magical power. Now that we have all the facts laid out, let us discuss some of the theories surrounding Crowley and his impact on the world. Crowley was recognized by the BBC as the 73rd greatest Briton of all time. Perhaps one of the most intriguing theories surrounding Crowley is the theory that he is Barbara Bush's father, making him George W. Bush's grandfather, meaning that Barbara Bush was a product of sex magic and occult blood exists within our United States presidents. Another theory is Aleister Crowley's connection to the founder of Scientology, L. Ron Hubbard. And beyond that, Nathan Crowley, an admitted cousin of Aleister, was the set designer for Dark Knight Rises, which featured the name Sandy Hook in the film before the event even took place. So was Aleister Crowley overhyped? Are we giving him too much credit? Was he really the wickedest man in the world? Despite his depravity, despite whatever he dabbled in, despite his practices, he was still in the inner circle, and they accepted him with open arms, kind of like they do today. Let me know your thoughts below, and I hope you all have a wonderful day. Thank you so much for watching and subscribing.
He wrote that when you once had a miscarriage, you showed him the fetus in the jar.
Now, really,
we
the truth
touched on
is,
it before, but we didn't
Paolo
elaborate.
put it in the jar.
What?
Jay-Z has turned Beyonce into Sasha Fierce. Before Jay-Z, Beyonce was a Christian. She had a totally different image, but Jay-Z is responsible for her going satanic. Now, here we are at his 13th studio solo album. 13 is a big Illuminati number. It represents the original 13 families who colonized to the US. It's embedded in so many of their logos like McDonald's, Baskin-Robbins, and even J.C. Penney's logo. The list goes on. Friday the 13th, the 13 steps on the Illuminati pyramid found on every dollar bill. The eagle on the dollar bill has 13 stripes, 13 stars, 13 leaves on the olive branch, and 13 arrows, and even some modern day elevators don't have a 13th floor. Jay-Z is an Illuminati Satanist and is selling an album that he calls 444, which actually means 666. Sounds crazy, I know, but remember, Lucifer masquerades himself around as an angel of light. Why would a Satanist like Jay-Z use such an angelic number for his 13th Illuminati album title? Lucifer is the light bearer. In fact, Illuminati itself means the enlightened ones. The truth is, they only bear a false light. On the Black album, Jay-Z had a popular song called 99 Problems. You can clearly see on the album that it is the track number 9. When you flip it upside down, you have 666. Still not convinced? Okay, on the same album, he had a track called Lucifer, which was produced by Kanye West, that he speaks a lot of unholy wickedness this entire song. Go listen for yourself. I can't make this shit up, okay? Still not convinced. That same song remixed on the Linkin Park's album said 666 backwards, murder, murder, Jesus. I can't make this up. Go look it up, okay?
Jay-Z, H to the Izzo, V to the Izzy, Jehovah God. That's what he calls himself. He believes that he is God, and he believes that Jesus Christ is not the Son of God. He believes that the black man is God. His clothing line is called Rockaware. Those are his clothes. You can't even go into a, I mean, I have a hard time shopping for clothes now, Brother Dwayne. I mean, I just get depressed almost. I go into Burlington or something, man, and I mean, you know, I don't have Herman Murray money, so I can't be, you know, I can't wear gaiters every day. So, you know, I go to the regular department store, and every section is hip-hop clothing. Rockaware. Sean John. But this is Jay-Z, and he had an album called The Black Album, and of course these guys release songs, you know, underground, and they do this kind of stuff, and we just happen to come across a very disturbing song by Brother Jay-Z. It's a song that he actually recorded and has a backwards message in it, and we had to reverse the song and play the song backwards to get this message for you. Y'all remember back when the heavy metal folks used to do that? And they would put the backwards messages in their music, and they'd say that your subconscious was smart enough, that right brain was smart enough to decode and flip that message, so by the time it got to the left side of your brain, you understood it, and you didn't even know you understood it. You just acted it out. Because they had the song called Another One Bites the Dust, Queen. Played it backwards. It said, I like to smoke marijuana. Yeah, and then they interviewed kids, and kids say when they listen to it, they just want to get high. They just want to smoke weed, and they had no idea that that message was being reversed in their minds and causing them to want to do that. Isn't that weird? God made us smart. Look at somebody say, you smart? So I don't care what they say about you. This brother has a very disturbing message in this song. I'm gonna let y'all hear it. Can I let y'all hear it? Y'all listen.
666.
Murder, murder, Jesus.
666.
666. Murder, murder, Jesus. This made you feel kind of funny, didn't it? It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable.
After fully analyzing this album for a majority of the album, Jay took a very subtle approach to this album and the symbolism behind it. The reason for this is because the devil always must still convince people that they are good people. We're given our heroes by the powers that be. Jay-Z was chosen as a leader, our hero, to misguide blacks and lead them to hell. So his image is as one who is pro-black. That is why Beyonce was pro-black at the Super Bowl. Jay-Z did the song My President is Black with Young Jeezy and was best friends with Obama. And we know the truth about him. He's definitely a part of the Illuminati and have direct relation to almost every other president. So his song and single for the album Story of OJ was pro-black. But Jay exposes himself in this album on the track called Bam with Damon Marley. Jay-Z says, fuck all this pretty Sean Carter shit, nigga. Hove. Sean was on that gospel shit. I was on the total fucking opposite. Wait, now hold on, y'all. Hold up. What the fuck does he mean? He's saying him, the person, Sean Carter, was a good person who loved the Lord, who loved the gospel, and the entity that possesses him, who calls himself Hove, was the complete opposite. If you don't worship God, you worship Lucifer. Hove represents Satan. So when he said, oh, we gonna reach a Billy first, I told my wife the spiritual shit really worked. Alhamdulillah, I run through them all. He wasn't talking about the one true Jehovah or Allah, whatever you call him. He's talking about Satan. That the spiritual shit he's talking about is the Illuminati rituals. Listen to their music, see them in concert, and you will see that they are talking spiritual wickedness. Alhamdulillah means praise be to God, but his God ain't your God. His God is Satan. Also, take note that this album will have 13 songs, but so far only 10 have been released. I'm eager to hear what Jay has to say on the last song, the 13th song, but already the title looks satanic in nature. It will be called Many-Faced God. Just do a Google search on this. Here's what I found. The Many-Faced God, alternatively known as the God of Death, is a deity worshipped by the mysterious cult of assassins known as the Faceless Man, who are headquartered in the free city of Bravos, and they believe that through their assassinations, they do his work. If you've seen Game of Thrones, then you know about the Many-Faced God. But again, that's not our God. That is Lucifer himself. So what do y'all think? Is this real or fake? Is Jay-Z using subliminal messages, or are we just reading into this too much? Sound off in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Have a blessed day, Up TV family, and I'll holla at y'all later. Peace. Thank you for watching Up TV. If you like this video and would love to see more, check out these great videos here, and don't forget to subscribe to Up TV and Up TV 2 for even more great videos.
You don't choose them. This ain't an everybody thing. This is an elite club.
Okay, so Pac. Okay, so the elite club now would be Jay-Z, 50, Puffy, Kanye, Beyonce, and all. Okay, so are these people, have they been put through
Rihanna's?
Open your eyes. Don't sleep. Don't fall for whatever they feed you. You know, most kings, a lot of kings were poisoned because they were loving of their subjects, and a lot of times, you know, there's just wickedness. And you have to know that there's wickedness in the world. You have to know that there are people who are just here to profit and to put their foot on the back of people who are poor and who don't think that hip-hop can be used for good or for evil.
If I was part of the Illuminati, I would be a little bit bigger than what I am today.
What do you think about the Illuminati and everybody thinking that Jay's part of the Illuminati and rappers could be possibly part of the
If they are a part of it, they're never going to admit it anyway. So what's the sense of even asking about it? Just forget about it. Like what difference does it make? Like, that's a good point. There is a secret society that we know. There are many secret societies that we know. There are secret societies in the music business that we know. The higher you get up, the more homosexual it gets.
Really happened. It's bigger than this. Dancing with the Devil, that title is not just calling Puff no devil. That's not it. The music industry, the whole industry, you put them all together, that every one of them, man, or every one of them have their wicked ways. You know what I'm saying? And that book represents.
And just being an agent of speech or agent of information like yourself, like I can communicate with people across the world, so what I say has to be important and it has to be helpful. It has to be, unless I'm just an agent for destruction. And then I probably need to be with the rest of the spies and everybody else is trying to blow up.
What do you know about it though? Is that something that, I mean, I used to read about that stuff when I was incarcerated. Right, that's what it seems like. A lot of people feel like that now. The Illuminati, the Freemasons. I used to read about this stuff, and for the most part, the
administration will not do anything for us. I can't tell you what the action was because I might be inciting something. What I would say is that our ability to connect with each other is the power that the government can't control, and they're working very strongly on controlling it. Even
I'm saying, like, in the music industry, you have, look at the trends, right? If you follow what's going on in the trends, rappers have adapted homosexual fashion. The way some rappers dress, the way the gays dressed years ago. It is what it is. It's just a fact. You can't dispute fact. Right.
Successful rappers or rap as it is now?
I'm just the culture. Just rap. It's not just whether they're successful or up and coming.
What you were saying is you got hired.
I'm not talking about even rappers. I'm talking about the people in control. The higher you up, the executives and people pushing buttons, behind buttons. Do I think that they playing with boys? Yes. Some of them. Not all of them. I can't say exactly who, but I hear stories. You hear stories too. You probably been in this business longer than me. And you probably been across, through that door. So this
is one of those a few weeks ago, yes.
Oh, you have to sit down.
And a lot of times we are, we're giving this white horse, and we're just like, we're supposed to believe in this thing or this person. And we've seen it done over and over and over, and at times you have to realize, like, the truth is the truth. Like, we're all human beings, and we all have responsibilities, but I think that no one human being can save the world.
And when he rejected the whole ritual thing, he's like, no. He was losing his mind for a minute, hanging a baby out of the window because he was wrestling with it. Then they came at him, and it was like, look, man, we're going to bring you up on charges, dude. Take pictures of your fucking freckles on your dick. You understand what I'm saying? At that point, we were already like, the hell with Michael Jackson. Then Cat Williams came out and said what he said about Mike, but Cat Williams was correct when he said those mansion parties, and y'all don't understand what go on with that shit, man.
See, now you have to bring my viewers up to speed on that, because the whole I'm not even hip to that, what was said about that. Now, what did Cat Williams?
Cat Williams said they was letting him in, and the stuff that he was saying was blowing his mind. And I'm telling y'all right now, if y'all don't want to believe it, watch in the next couple of years. They coming after Cat Williams. Cat Williams tell too much truth. They coming after Cat Williams, man. Seriously. You understand what I'm saying? And the whole idea of Michael Jackson rejecting it and they bringing him up on charges and this kind of thing, that's public humiliation. Then they set up the doctor, to be around Mike in his presence, and they provided the medicine for him to give the mic. Oh, come on, man. That's covert operation, dude. That's CIA. That's these subsidiaries, because their parents own the majors. They got distribution, so they could sign the brothers to these subsidiary labels. Are you following me? They were the ones that said that they were gonna make you calling yourself a nigga very popular. It talks about that on page 236, I believe. And I tell people all the time, I said, listen, this ain't Professor Griff. It says, with their cash in a superior industry position, these white entrepreneurs installed a new leadership over hip-hop, and they began to promote a nefarious niggerization of rap music. It says KRS-One and Public Enemy, with the message that KRS-One and Public Enemy, they said we were reaching the masses of young black people. And then NWA, niggas with attitudes, would be paid off and put in a position where they would neutralize Public Enemy and brothers like KRS-One. And then came the gangster rap, thugging, balling, now pimping. Now the metrosexual is about to take over hip-hop. And your children, your nephew, your niece, and all the little ones, the shorties now, Tay-Tay, Riri, Man, and Twan and them, in the hood, gonna be wearing fucking skirts. Watch. Man purses and this kind of shit.
we have an interesting relationship with the media because the media will convince people to work against their best interests. And they'll tell you, they'll do exposés on the media how this is against your best interest, but it's the flashing lights. When things are on TV and they're flashing, we're attracted to them whether they're positive or negative.
Do you see your role as
I'm a part of the media. What I do is media-based. That's the way I reach out to people. So I just try to be responsible.
What do you think it will take for society to rise up and become more conscious and become more active in their world and not just sit back and be willing to let events pass you by?
I think the people who know better have to find creative ways to bring it to people who don't.
You mix that with a large amount of success. You mix that with Jay-Z and artists like him doing deals with people, business people who these people read the stuff don't trust, and you put together a theory. We was reading The Illuminati, Behold the Pale Horse, The Matrix series. We was reading all these books, New World Order. We read anything we could get our hands on, particularly Kanye West. This is somebody I know personally. When I started hearing it about him, that's when I started speaking out about it. I don't hang out with Jay-Z and Beyonce and Rihanna. I don't know what they be doing on their spare time. You know what I'm saying?
They be on yachts, bro. Take pictures, having a good time, living life.
But and even if they in the Illuminati, it's like Freddy, it's like the Candyman. It's like the only way it can have power over you is if you believe in it. If you don't believe in it, it don't affect your life.
Let me tell you what your man Hustle Simmons said to me. I'm at the Million Man March, or the Million More Movement. I think it was the one after that. Behind stage, dignitaries and all the important people were there. So I'm talking to Russell, and I'm like, look, now, did that whole Jewish thing affect your life like it did me? He says, man, all you had to do was make a hit record, and that would have been that. Or basically, in other words, all you had to do is come on in. Basically, you understand what I'm saying? Chill the fuck out. We would hit you off, just kind of like, everything would have been cool. You mean to tell me all this time my life has been ruined? I've been poisoned, shot at, house burned down, all kicked out of Public Enemy, all this shit, and you tell me in a fucking fleeting moment behind stage somewhere all I had to do was make a hit record? Oh damn, that goes to show y'all, man. They don't give a fuck about you. They don't give a fuck about you. You understand what I'm saying? Right now I'm feeling like Tupac. They don't give a fuck about us, man.
They killed that brother, man. That brother was on something.
You got a question quick.
The government brainwash our people with the mind control theory. That's what they do. So they make sure our people like it. They keep playing that same song. The same song keep playing, you start to like it. You start to get probed with it. You start to get cloned with it. So then for the clone exists, then it just takes over. It takes over the human body. It takes over the spirit. It takes over the soul. And therefore, behold, that's what you got.
That it could be.
Junior,
you
turn the
would
piano
turn
on up in here.
do this to me. Can't believe the
up a little bit so I can feel it in my stomach.
Really made my day. You told me you never go
Since I be your inner city poet.
And for me, you'd always be here. Now you tell me this.
Since I be your inner city poet, man, I'ma let y'all in on this little piece I call. Let it rain. Let it rain. Let it rain. Sun shines down up on my window pane. I'm feeling depressed and so much strain. I know it's summer, Lord. Please, let it rain. It's just a little piece that I feel from deep within. No pad, no pen, that ain't no grin. It's just a youngster that done fell deep off in this game. Trying to maintain, hoping to see some rain. Will I see rain by nightfall? If I live to see tomorrow, will I see a drop of rain at all? Feel like my patterns done fell against the grain. Ain't that a shame? Fiending for some rain. Man, I still can remember all the nights sleeping in my load. Rain running down my front windshield. Man, it was cold. These streets is enough to make a young man like me feel old. I don't know what it is. The rain just soothes my soul.
I never thought that.
And I don't know if it's just me.
What is happening to me?
I don't know if it's just this crazy ass high inside of me. Man, it's just something about that rain. About that rain that ease my pain.
Told me you never go away, and for me, you'd always be.
That rain on me.
Now you tell me that something's wrong, and you must